Okay, welcome back to our Homestyle tutorials. In this video, we are going to start drawing our floor plan and drawing some walls. So in our interface here, we are going to go up. If you do not see the menu, we will go to Create a Room, and a pop-out should show up here. So the first thing we're probably going to want to do is start to draw some walls. And we'll be using our sketch that we've done as a reference. So we already know the dimensions that we want our rooms to be. So to draw walls, we have three options. We have by center, length, or by edge. So the center is actually going to draw dimensions from the center line of the walls, which you may not want to use because it's not going to give you the overall dimension of the walls you like. So you'd probably prefer to use the edge. So if we start using edge, by the edge, and we'll see the little crosshair cursor there, we can left click and start drawing our rooms, and we will see the dimensions going out as we draw our wall length. Very similar to some other programs, we can just type in our dimension here. So we could type in, say, 10 foot dash 2 inches if we like, and that would draw our wall 10 foot 2 inches, and we could continue drawing. And if we wanted to draw this one down, we could drag this to the exact dimension that we wanted, or we could actually type in our value. If it's just inches, so say we wanted to make this 48 inches, we could just by default just type in 48, and that's going to draw 48 inches, and it's going to convert to feet for us. So that is 4 foot 0 inches, which is 48 inches. And when we are done drawing that wall, we can just right click and we are out of the wall drawing mode. If we want to edit any of those walls, we can go select that wall. I'm going to right click to finish that wall there, and I will go select that wall. It turns yellow once you're out of the wall drawing mode. If I wanted to change this wall, I could actually just select that node on the end, and I could drag that, and you could see that dimension change. So we can drag these to get the dimensions that we want, or we could select the wall so it turns blue, and we could actually put some values in there. Okay, so I could change this back to 48 inches, and when we're putting inches and not feet, we can just put the number 48. If we're going to put feet and inches, we need to put the foot, the apostrophe as a foot symbol, followed by the number, followed by the inch value with the inch symbol. So I'm going to right click that, and our yellow walls are done, and those dimensions are visible. So that's how we can draw walls using the edge command. If I want to get rid of these walls, again, I can just go click on that wall, left click till it turns blue, and a little menu will pop up, and I can select delete, and select this one, and select delete. We also have the undo option as well. If we know the dimensions of our room, and we want to draw a large room or a bigger room all at once, this will draw a square, and we can actually drag those. And if I wanted to make a room that was 10 feet by 10 feet, I would put 10 feet in that box and hit enter, and then 10 feet in that box. Use apostrophe for feet. And it draws that by 10 foot, and it's actually put a default floor in there. So we could start off by doing our whole outside room if it was a square shape. If we want to edit the dimensions of this room here, we can go select a wall, and you'll notice that I've selected this wall, so that's the wall it wants to move. So it's going to allow me to change these dimensions here. So if I wanted to change that to 12 feet, I would put 12 apostrophe, and that would give me 12 feet. So if I wanted to change the 10 foot dimension, that means I have to move one of these walls. So if I select that wall, that's going to make these dimensions change. So I'm going to highlight that text, and I'm going to change this just to 96 inches. 96 by default, which is 8 feet. So now I have that room edited. I can also drag these out as well too. By selecting the nodes, you'll see little circles in there, and I can drag those out, and they will snap two horizontal or vertical lines, and you'll see it adjust the floor as well. Now, if I have my room drawn like this, and I want to add some other rooms on this, we can use some different features over here. Again, I'm just going to make this a little bit bigger, so I'm going to change this to 16 feet, and I'll make it square and change, edit this wall. I want to move that one down, so I'm going to change that to 16 feet as well. So I've got a square room, and I'll right click and that will close off that command. Now if I want to add a room on there, I can go use my draw wall using the edge command, and I can draw from there, and the same thing, putting in my dimensions or dragging it to dimensions I want. And I will draw this down to there, and that went a little bit too far, so I'm just going to click on that. Now I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to actually drag that up so it is square. So we do have this wall here, which may be a possibility that we're going to keep a solid wall there, and we're just going to put a door in there. But you'll notice it did split that wall up. So I could click on that wall and select delete, and that wall is gone. I'm going to hit my undo button or my Control Z, and that will put my wall back in there. And I can go name some of these rooms as well too. So if I want to name my rooms, I'm going to go over to the right, and I'm going to pull this little dialog box open here, click on that little arrow, and I will go select my room. And you will see my room type here is actually called unnamed. So I can go change this to any one of these types of rooms. And I will go change this to, I will call this the living room. And you'll see that adjusts the name. And maybe I will change this to a different name. So I'm going to call this my storage room. So now we have our two rooms drawn here. We have our living room drawn, and we have our storage room drawn. So as I showed before, we could select on that wall and delete that. But because it is a storage room, we're probably going to want to put a door in there. So I'm going to go back and undo that again. And over here I have some options. So I have a single door, double door, unequal door, and a sliding door. In this case, I'm going to choose to put a sliding door in there. So I'm going to click on that double door there, and I'm going to drag it across there. And I'm going to try and center that and locate that so it's right in between there. It may not work out to be perfectly the same because of the numbers I've chosen, but I'm going to left click and I'm going to put that door there. And the door looks like it's kind of swinging to the inside. If I wanted to flip it to the outside, I can select the flip button, and now the doors would swing the other way. So I'm going to leave them flipping on the inside. It depends on what style you like. So once that is done, I am going to right click, and now my doors are in place. So now we want to put in some windows. So back over under our create a room, we have lots of different windows here. So we have a corner bay window, a bay window, just a normal window, or a French style window. So if I go select my window, I'm going to select my window, and I'm going to drag it over here, and it automatically snaps it to that location. So if I want to center that window there, I would put that in place like that. Dimensions are added, and I'll right click. Now that window looks like it's a little small, so I'm going to click on that, and I can actually drag on these nodes to make that window a little bit bigger. I could actually go in here, that's 6 foot 2 inches. I could actually change that to say 6 foot 6 inches. That will give me a 6 foot 6 inch window. So in our living room so far, we have a window and we have a door. And now we know how to create rooms using these tools over here. We could still use this draw room over here if we wanted to put another room on here. Put a square on here and add that room there, and it creates that room there. And we could go put an entranceway in here, another door, depending on the design you like. So we could put a door opening in here, like a structure. So we could put like an arched door in here. So we could select that door opening and place that in there. Make a few adjustments on there, make a little bigger arch. And if we want to name this, and if you haven't noticed, you can make these adjustments over here. So we can make our width over here, our height. We can change our arch height as well too. It's kind of hard to see where we're at right now, but we can make those adjustments after. I'm just scrolling with the mouse wheel here to zoom in and out. And if we are outside of that room there or inside, we can left click and that pans it. So we have our zoom using our scroll wheel, left mouse button click to do the panning. So that concludes this episode of drawing our walls.